Hey out there, legal warriors. This video is personal to me. I'm going to cover in this video mistakes to avoid when hiring a criminal defense attorney. There are a lot of bad ones out there. There are a lot of good ones out there. How do you tell the difference? If you're interested in that area of the law, stay tuned. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear, and I'm a defense attorney in Linwood, Washington. My law firm's been defending people charged with crimes for more than 20 years, and I'm in Washington State putting out these videos to help educate the public. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people will get the help they need. Now I'm just going to jump right into it. I could say 3 mistakes to avoid or 5 mistakes to avoid. I'm just going to freeform here. What are the mistakes to avoid when hiring a criminal attorney? I think the first mistake to avoid is don't hire someone who's trying to scare you. Man, is it a pet peeve of mine. I can't tell you how many times I get a phone call with someone said, this attorney told me I was going to be deported. This attorney told me I was going to jail, or how terrible my case was. If that's all they're talking about, they're trying to scare you. And at least that's what I think. And that's not a good sign, right? You want an attorney who's going to give you some hope. You don't want them selling you a bunch of false promises, so you know when someone's selling you. But you're already scared enough as it is. Someone doubling down or tripling down on your anxiety and amping up your anxiety isn't great. When you're talking to that attorney, if your anxiety is going up, and that's when they're being is sort of outward to you as they can when they're trying to get your business. Well, if your anxiety is going up, just think how bad it's going to be once you retain them. So avoid the mistake of hiring an attorney who increases your anxiety during the initial call. That's bad. A second mistake to avoid is just shopping around on price, right? If you're buying an iPad and it's the same iPad, well, if it's $20 cheaper at Best Buy than it is at Apple, or it's $30 cheaper at Costco than it is at Apple, you might as well buy the cheapest one. Well, if you're shopping around on price for attorneys only, as you might guess, not all attorneys are the same. So don't just look at the price, because there's the price of what the attorney is charging, and there's the cost of making a mistake by hiring the wrong attorney. So invest in yourself by taking the time to interview the attorney and figure out, are they right for you? Another mistake to avoid is failing to look at reviews that actually matter, right? Take a look at the reviews of the law firm or the attorney, but actually read them, right? Is it a 5-star review with 1 sentence because it was a traffic infraction and not an actual crime? Or is it a longer review that talks about how that client was treated or how that client was made to feel? Because guess what? My opinion is most highly rated attorneys are going to do a pretty similar job in getting the outcome in the case, but the outcome is not all that matters, right? It's also how you are made to feel along the way, because the person who's going to punish you the most in this case isn't the prosecutor, it's not the court, it's you yourself. Your mind is going to punish you with anxiety. So take a look at the reviews that matter and what part of it matters. Of course, someone with a 3.5 rating is probably not as good as a 5.0, but on all of the 5s and 4 9s, see what people are saying about their experiences and which ones seem the most authentic to you and will make you feel the best could be a great way to go. I think another mistake you need to avoid in hiring an attorney is hiring an attorney who doesn't ask about you, right? How are you feeling? What are your fears? What are your frustrations in the case? What are your wants in the case? What are your aspirations for going forward in life when this is over, right? Do they talk about you and why you got here? Or do they only talk about the facts of the case? Are they a technician? Just a technician, right? It's sort of like bedside manner. You can get a doctor who just comes in and prescribes a medicine, or you can get a doctor that takes the time to get to know you and know what's important to you and know how you want to communicate. They both might get the job done, but one is going to be a lot better experience than the other. I think another mistake to avoid is just making assumptions about the quality of people involved in the firm, right? Some people think that you should hire a solo practitioner because you're always going to get the boss's attention. That could be true, but also the boss is doing everything. And that used to be me when I started out. I was a solo for a good 10 plus years. 8 years solo, take that back. Associate 12 years ago. And now that I've got a firm, I've had to learn, to hire the right people that can do an even better job than me, the boss, because they don't also run the firm, right? They're just doing the cases. So don't make an assumption because it's a firm you're going to get lesser quality representation. Don't assume it's going to be great either. Ask some questions. But whenever we make assumptions, we're probably making mistakes. And I think the final mistake to avoid when hiring an attorney is a mistake that you need yourself to avoid in your own behavior, is not listening to the attorney, right? You spent all this money, you went through all of these research and interviews, and then you hire an attorney, and then you want to fight with reality, right? Well, how come it's not getting dismissed? Or shouldn't I be doing this? Or aren't you doing that? If you hired the right attorney, they know what they're doing. Now, be your own best advocate. If someone calls my firm and says, what's going on with my case? I'll thank you. I'll thank that person for helping me help them, right? Because we're on the same team. But if you're not listening to your attorney, if you're not doing what they ask, if you're not showing up, if you're not returning their calls, then you're making a mistake, and that is a mistake to avoid when hiring an attorney. Don't hire an attorney and then sort of mess up the relationship and make your result way worse. So I hope you found this useful. This is 20 years of being on this side of things, and getting actual real life feedback and experience from clients about some of their experiences with other firms, and learning about my own mistakes and things that we now do better in our firm and that we didn't used to do so well. And I'm going to keep learning more as we go. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people get the help they need. And if you get a criminal problem in Washington State, you want us to consider helping you, feel free to give us a call. We'll listen to what happened. We'll identify a way forward, and we will be there for you. Thank you.